Malaysia property outperforms Singapore property. So I think it's like a rivalry of, which one is better, roti canai versus roti prata. So, I got a lot of comments. I've got also a lot of hate after I mentioned in my last video. For example, like Kenny here saying, yeah, we should believe you because the graph says so. Brad's basically said, never met anyone invested in Malaysia and become rich, lol. Okay, fine. Alright, so all of these comments are number one. I realized one thing. This comment came because I think I made a mistake. I made a mistake of basically telling you one thing, which is a fact that Malaysia property outperformed Singapore property from a capital gain point of view, from a price index point of view. But I didn't address the currency depreciation bit. As you all know, Malaysia currency has depreciated against Singapore dollar over time. So today I'd like to do the video to clarify this. So let me give you the full story. I will also explain to you how do you do this without experiencing currency depreciation. So now, let's go back to a brief lesson of history. In the year 1970s, 1980s, okay, one Sing dollar is roughly equivalent to 1 ringgit. That was historically what has happened 45 years ago. And since then, Malaysia ringgit has depreciated against Singapore dollar over time. A lot of people would love to believe that the main reason why the depreciation happened because Malaysia country lousy, our politician very bad, our politicians stole money, 1 MDB, blah 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 blah. But the reality here is that, I think there's some level of corruption in Malaysia, but the reason why the ringgit depreciates against Singapore dollar has got very little to do. I'm not saying there's none, I'm saying there's very little to do with that. The Singapore dollar continue to appreciate against ringgit because it has to. It is a policy designed by Monetary Authority of Singapore. Chang, chang, chang. So it is by design, not by chance. If you are wondering where's the source for this, I'm going to highlight to you. This is a statement issued by Monetary Authority of Singapore. Now, if you look at it here, the first bit is basically saying the Singapore dollar is managed against a basket of currency of our major trading partners and competitors. So what this basically means here, guys, that Malaysia generally is an export partner to Singapore. Singapore import a lot of stuff out of Malaysia. So we are a key trading partner to Singapore. If Malaysia ringgit continue to be at $1, can you imagine the prices of things that you have to import out of Malaysia? Because Singapore doesn't have any form of commodity, right? You import a lot of stuff out of Malaysia. Singapore dollar is designed to appreciate against its key import partners. Any markets whereby Singapore has to import a lot of stuff, the dollar will continue to appreciate. And Malaysia is basically one of those markets. From a Malaysia government point of view, it's very straightforward. We've got no interest to make ringgit stronger against Singapore dollar. Why? Why would we? The weaker the ringgit, more of you will actually come to Malaysia and spend money. Don't believe me? Look at the causeway. Look at the second link on weekends. That's just the reality. I can also bet you with all the houses that I own, 15 to 20 years from now, the Singapore dollar will continue to appreciate against ringgit because again is by design. Anyone who is surprised by this fact clearly do not understand economics, clearly did not study the currency relationship. So there shouldn't be any dispute or any surprise if the Malaysia ringgit continue to depreciate against Singapore dollar. I'm hoping that we can put this to rest after providing you this proof, right? Don't be surprised if 10-15 years from now, 1 Sing dollar is equivalent to 5 ringgit. It's going to happen. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. I'm going to address the second part now, whereby, so what's the point of investing in Malaysia if I make money from capital gain, I make money from the capital appreciation of the property, yet at the same time, I lose out completely on conversion rate. So again, this is what happens if you don't understand how to play this game. Okay, now the strategy I'm recommending to all of our Singapore clients is to not convert any Sing dollar into ringgit, because if you don't convert any Sing dollar into ringgit, you don't have a currency depreciation risk. I've already told you that Singapore dollar is designed to appreciate against ringgit over time. Converting it to ringgit to invest in Malaysia is stupid. How the hell then you invest in a market whereby you can't convert Sing dollar? So here's why Malaysia is interesting. Malaysia is the only property market in the world today whereby you as a Singaporean can actually buy a property, take 100% all the way to even 120% mortgage, which means you don't have to bring a single cent out of Singapore, buy something in Malaysia. But in order to go and do that, you have to understand. You have to buy property at really below market, and you have to buy things that rental-wise can cover the installment. You are saying all of this comment, Malaysia property don't make money, etc. is simply because you don't understand these two. You keep pumping Singapore dollar into ringgit and then you cry when there's an exchange rate loss, which is not the right thing to do in the first place, right? First rule, never put Singapore dollar into Malaysia because you know Singapore dollar designed to appreciate over time. Number two, it is your birthright being part of Singapore or as a Singaporean today to actually buy Malaysia property really zero down. When I say zero down, I'm talking even about renovation. I've got a bunch of clients recently who decided to become Far Capital clients, and today they are buying property in Malaysia and they're getting a 110, 120, 150% loan. This is what financial knowledge gets you, whereby you're now able to go and buy something in Malaysia, take advantage of the capital gains that you will be able to go get out of Malaysia, but at the same time to not lose out on currency depreciation. That's how the professionals play this game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I apologize for not being very clear in my first video, and I clearly invited a bunch of people who were very upset with me saying Malaysia property capital gain is better compared to Singapore without taking into consideration the currency risk. The reality is that I have. It's just that the full advice is given to clients of Far Capital. I don't owe it to any public out there to give this advice, but I felt that I have to do a video like this just to clarify our position so that, you know, you guys get the full information, you guys get the full story. Let me know what you think about this particular video. If you have any question for me, leave it in the comment section below and maybe we can answer that in the next video. Thank you guys.